Back with another episode of Pottawattamie County Routes. Hi, I'm Todd Studer. Well, got the Iowa shirt on today. Somebody told me that they really like this thing, and I said, yeah, I have liked this thing since about 2005. I've had this shirt for a while, and I remember I was I was at a broadcasting a high school basketball game. I think it was in 2007, and an Iowa State fan was giving me a hard time about this at that high school, and I still have the shirt. I still like the shirt. It's very faded now. It used to be very black. It's not anymore. It's a kind of a deep shade of gray, I think. But Hawkeyes are in the NCAA tournament, taking on Clemson this Friday. Thought that I would put it on. It's been a good year. All the area teams except for Drake made it. Iowa State is in. Northern Iowa is in after winning their conference tournament. And, of course, Nebraska having a pretty good season, too. So lots of basketball to root for as March Madness finds its way back home again. Today, we are going to talk a little business, and we're going to talk about something that we do here at Local Stream Media and the studios on Willow, and that is video, but more specifically, short form video. Now, what I'm doing right now is long form, but short form is something that can reach people in a completely different way. And we're going to talk about that and what it could do for your business. So that will be the topic on Pottawattamie County Routes. Finding the right care for a loved one can feel overwhelming. Assisted Living Locators is here to help. Jean Bonker brings more than 30 years of experience serving families and has personally navigated the challenges of elder care. She understands the questions, the emotions, and the weight of these decisions. Jean becomes your advocate, guiding you through options with clarity, compassion, and personal support every step of the way. Call Assisted Living Locators at 402-690-5467. Move forward with confidence. And if you're looking for all natural health solutions in Southwest Iowa, it is Bambi's Green Acres Natural Market. She's at 805 South Main Street in Council Bluffs, and she has been serving the community for over 30 years. And she is here to put health back in your hands. Find her online at bambisgreenacres.com. Short form video. It is dominating attention because it fits the way people actually live now. And that's the simplest explanation. Honestly, it is the most important one because people are not sitting around waiting to consume a long message from a business. They are in between things and are waiting in the pickup line, sitting in a parking lot before walking into work and taking a break between appointments. Maybe they're just scrolling for a few minutes before bed. The phone, it's already in their hand, and the thumb is already moving, and the decision about whether to keep watching happens almost instantly. That matters in a small town. Why? Because local businesses do not have the luxury of wasting those first few seconds. If someone in Treynor or in Underwood sees a video from a local business, that video has to get to the point quickly. It cannot feel like a corporate commercial. It has to say something useful, show something recognizable, or create enough curiosity to stop the scroll. That is why short form works. It does not ask for a major commitment. It gives people a fast reason to pay attention. HubSpot says short form video is the highest rate of return content format right now. That does not mean that every business owner needs to become a filmmaker. It means the format itself matches where consumer attention already is. Now, Wise Owl, they say that a large majority of businesses are using video that marketers still see as central to strategy. So in other words, this is not some passing novelty. It's become a normal part of how businesses communicate. So let's put that into a Pottawattamie County setting. Maybe you're running that coffee shop in Avoca. Yep, I'm talking to you. A farm service business near Oakland, a contractor in Neola, a boutique in Walnut. You're not competing only with the shop down the street. You're competing with everything else on a person's phone. National creators, news, sports clips, family photos, random entertainment. Your business needs a format that can enter that stream naturally, and short-form video does exactly that. The other part of this is local recognition. In a small town, people stop when they recognize the setting. They notice a familiar storefront, a local road, a school event, or a business owner they have seen before. A short video from a place like Treynor or Carson can grab attention faster than a generic ad, because the viewer immediately understands this is happening here, not somewhere else. That local relevance is the advantage small town businesses have, but they only get to use it if they show up in the format people are already consuming. And there is something else that matters. Short form video lets people get a feel for a business before they ever walk in or make a call. They can hear the tone of voice, they can see the place, they can decide whether it feels approachable. In small towns where reputation and familiarity still drive a lot of buying decisions, that is powerful. People often want a sense of who they are dealing with before they reach out. A quick video does that faster than a website paragraph ever will. So, when we ask why short form video is dominating attention, the answer is not really that technical. It's behavioral. It fits the rhythm of modern life. And when you combine that with the built in familiarity of a small town, it becomes even more effective. So maybe you're in Underwood, Avoca, Neola, Treynor, businesses that learn how to be clear, local, and visible in a short format are the ones with a better chance of staying top of mind. The second reason short form video dominates attention is trust, not reach first, not production value first, trust first. In a small town, people do business with names they recognize and people they feel they know. That has always been true. What has changed is the tool that creates that familiarity. It used to happen mostly through repeated in person contact, word of mouth, church, school events, or seeing someone's ad in the same place week after week. Now, a lot of that early familiarity is happening through video. What makes short form especially effective in a smaller community is that it compresses the introduction process. So instead of somebody hearing your business name 3 or 4 times before they feel any connection to it, they watch a 20-second clip and immediately understand who you are, how you talk, and whether you feel real. That's a big deal. We've got communities like Crescent, Minden, Shelby, Walnut. Relationships still matter, and people are pretty good at spotting when something feels forced. Sprout Social recently reported that only 56% of social users think brands are doing a good job producing truly original content. That number matters because it tells you there's a lot of stale material out there. A lot of businesses are posting content that feels generic, maybe off of a template, detached from real life. It's especially dangerous for a small town business because generic content makes you look distant. And distance is exactly what local businesses are supposed to overcome. This is where short form video becomes valuable when it is done correctly. A business owner standing in their actual store, on a job site, or in front of a product they really sell creates a level of authenticity that stock photos and polished marketing copy do not. If you own a service company in Oakland and you talk for 25 seconds about the issue you solve most often this time of year, that feels real. If you run a business in Carter Lake and you show people a quick behind the scenes look at how your team works, that feels real too. It does not need to be perfect. In fact, being too polished can work against you. Small towns reward authenticity because people eventually cross paths in real life. They may see you at a school event, at the grocery store, a fundraiser, or a restaurant. If your video presence feels fake, people notice. But if your video feels like an extension of who you really are, it builds confidence. That is where trust starts. It's not about acting like an influencer. It's about showing up consistently as the same person online that people would meet in person. This also changes how customers think about risk. A local business often wins not because it's the cheapest, but because it feels safer. It feels known. A quick video can reduce uncertainty. It can answer the unspoken question people have before contacting any business, which is basically this: are these my kind of people? Can I trust them to do what they say they will do? That is why short form video has so much power in smaller communities. It creates repeated, low pressure contact. People see your face a few times. They hear your voice. They start to remember your name. Then, when the need shows up, whether it's a contractor, a boutique, a real estate office, or a small manufacturer, the business feels familiar before the first phone call ever happens. In big markets, that trust building process is harder because there's more noise. In Pottawattamie County communities, the opportunity is stronger because people still care deeply about the person behind the business. That is why short form video is not just winning attention, it's winning credibility. And in a small town, credibility is often what turns attention into actual business. Another reason short form video is dominating attention is that it is incredibly efficient for businesses that do not have large staffs or huge marketing budgets. That matters a lot in small towns because most local businesses are not operating with extra time sitting around. They're stretched. The owner may also be the salesperson, the scheduler, the manager, person answering the phone. In that environment, marketing has to be practical, or it simply just doesn't happen consistently. That is where short form video has a major advantage. It allows one moment of effort to turn into multiple uses. A business owner in Treynor can record one 10-minute conversation about a common customer question, then break it into several short clips. A real estate professional in Underwood can talk through a market update once and then use pieces of it across multiple days. A business in Avoca can record one quick explanation of a service and turn that into the kind of content people will actually watch. HubSpot's reporting on video matters here because it confirms marketers are not just experimenting with short form. They're seeing the strongest returns from it. That is important for smaller operators because it suggests that this is the format most worth prioritizing when time is limited. If you only have the energy to do one kind of consistent content, short form is currently the strongest bet. There's also a practical side to this that often gets overlooked. Short form doesn't require audiences to be in a certain place at a certain time. It's on demand. People watch when it fits their day. That makes it very different from older forms of outreach that relied on timing and routine. In a small town where potential customers may be commuting, working long hours, and helping kids' activities, maybe they're balancing multiple roles. That flexibility, it really matters. The message is available when they're ready, not when the business decides they should pay attention. This changes the economics of local marketing. A smaller business in Neola or Oakland may never have the resources to create a major campaign in the traditional sense, but it can create an ongoing presence. That is the real gift of short form video. It makes consistency more realistic. And consistency is often what local businesses need more than anything else. Most people do not buy because they saw one post. They buy because your business keeps appearing in a way that feels useful and familiar. The key here, it's not volume for the sake of volume. It is using short form to stay visible without creating a full-time media burden. One piece of content can introduce your business, answer a question, highlight an employee, show a project, explain a process, and then remind people that you are there. When you do that over time, you stop relying on only chance or word of mouth. You create a dependable rhythm of visibility. That is especially useful in smaller communities where a business can disappear from public awareness much faster than people realize. If you do not show up, people assume less is happening than actually is. Short form helps correct that. It gives businesses a way to say, we are here, we are active, and here is what we are doing. So it's not just about attention to the abstract, it is about operational fit. Short form video wins because it fits how customers consume media and how small businesses actually work. It's manageable, it's flexible, and for communities all across Pottawattamie County, from Walnut to Carter Lake, that makes it one of the few marketing tools that is both modern and realistic. Short form video also dominates attention because it solves a discovery problem. A lot of people do not know what is available around them, and it's especially true in smaller communities where great businesses often operate quietly. They may have loyal customers and strong reputations, but beyond that inner circle, there are still plenty of people nearby who do not fully understand what they do or why they are different. This is one of the biggest missed opportunities in small town business. A company can be excellent and still be underdiscovered. It can serve the area well and still not be the first name people think of. Short form video helps fix that because it gives businesses a fast, visual, low barrier way to explain who they are. Wise Owl says research shows that 73% of consumers prefer to learn about a product or service through a short form video. That tells you something important. People are not asking businesses to make them work harder. They're asking businesses to make understanding easier. Video is often the fastest path to that. So now think about how that plays out at a place like Crescent or Carson or Minden. Maybe there's a business there that people have heard of, but they don't know the full range of what it offers. Maybe they know the name, but not the specialty. Maybe they assume it's for someone else. A short video can clear that up pretty quickly. It can show the setting, the service, the people, and the value in a way that removes confusion. It's a major difference from traditional local advertising, which often assumes the audience already understands what the business does. A short video can educate while it markets. That's an important distinction. In smaller communities where the customer base is not unlimited, helping more local people understand the business they already drive past can be just as important as reaching someone new. And because short form video is visual, it works especially well for businesses with tangible outcomes: home services, retail, food, fitness, beauty, property, events, even professional services can benefit if they explain something clearly in a quick and accessible way. A business in Treynor can use a 30-second clip to show a finished result, a frequent problem, or a common misconception. That kind of content is useful, and useful content earns attention differently than a sales pitch does. This is also where small town businesses have an edge over national brands. They can be specific. They can talk about what matters in their area, their season, and their customer reality. A generic national video can't compete with a local business that sounds like it understands the actual day-to-day context of the people watching. That local specificity becomes a discovery tool. It helps viewers think, that's for me. That applies to my situation. That business gets where I live. And once that recognition happens, the next step becomes much easier. A click, a call, a visit, a message. Discovery turns into action. So yes, short form video dominates attention because it's fast. But in small towns, it also dominates because it helps businesses become understandable. That's a bigger deal than many owners realize. A lot of good businesses are not losing because they're bad. They're losing because too many nearby people still do not fully understand what they do. Short form video gives them a way to fix that without needing a huge campaign or a complicated strategy. The last piece of this community is community presence. Short form video dominates attention because it does not just promote a business. It places that business inside the ongoing conversation of the community. And in a small town, being part of the conversation matters almost as much as having the best product or service. A business is rarely judged only by what it sells. It also is judged by whether it feels involved, recognizable, and connected. People notice who shows up, who sponsors things, who supports local efforts, who seems engaged, and who feels absent. Short form video gives businesses a way to take part in that conversation regularly without needing a major event every time. Pottawattamie County has 15 communities, and each one has its own rhythm, its own priorities, and its own local pride. A business that understands that can use short video not just to market, but to be visible in a way that feels rooted. A seasonal update from Avoca, a behind-the-scenes look from Neola, a quick customer tip from Oakland, a community thank you from Walnut. Those kinds of videos do something broader than advertising. They signal membership. They say this business is part of the place, not just operating in it. This is important because modern attention is fragmented. People may not read the local paper, catch the same radio spot every time, or drive by the same sign often enough to remember it, but they are still spending time in social feeds every day. That's where community presence now has to show up as well. HubSpot says short form video remains the top performing content format and the leading format marketers plan to invest in. That suggests something larger than a trend. It suggests that the community conversation itself is increasingly happening through quick video moments, not just traditional channels. If that is where attention is moving, then local presence has to move there too. The businesses that understand this have an advantage. They do not need every video to go viral. They need their videos to keep reminding local people that they exist, that they care, and that they are still active. In a small town, those reminders compound. A person sees your clip this week, another one next week, a third one tied to a local event or a seasonal need, and over time, your business begins to feel woven into the place. That matters because in smaller communities, people often make decisions based on familiarity and community alignment, every bit as much as price. They want to support businesses that feel like they're part of the area's identity. Short form video can help create the sense of belonging more consistently than any older forms of marketing. And there's one more advantage. Community-based short form gives people something easy to share when they want to support a local business. It's much easier to send a friend a 20-second clip than to explain a whole business from scratch. That shareability turns customers into advocates in a very practical way. So, when we talk about why short form video is dominating attention, the answer, in a place like where we call home here in Pottawattamie County, it's bigger than algorithms. It's about how community presence works now. If local businesses want to stay visible in Avoca, Treynor, Underwood, Crescent, Carson, Oakland, Neola, Walnut, they have to show up in the formats where people are already paying attention. Right now, that format is short form video, not because it's trendy, but because it helps businesses stay local, visible, useful, and connected all at the same time. One of those businesses that knows how to stay connected is Waldstein Plumbing. They can handle your leaks, your clogged drains, your big remodels. They've got you covered with fast, reliable service and expert craftsmanship, handling everything from small repairs to major installations. Check them out online, waldsteinplumbing.com, for a free estimate. And Service Master Restore by Schmader knows how hard it is to get back to normal when you've suffered serious property damage due to flooding, fire, or smoke, and leaves you with all sorts of questions. How do you get things back to normal? Well, first thing you do is you call Cindy Schmader with Service Master Restore by Schmader, 402-339-9911. Hope that gave you some tips about how to use short form video and the importance of it. If you would like to learn a little bit more about how we can help you with that here at Local Stream Media, I would love to have the conversation with you. And no pressure, we'll just talk, and we'll see whether or not it's the right fit for your business. My name's Todd Studer. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.